What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon 466 Cards, and today is part 2 of my 3-part series on Fanatics. And we're going to talk about the problems at Fanatics. And what I'm noticing is a common theme among some of those problems. I'm not going to cover all the issues that Fanatics has because there are a few, but the main ones that I'm focusing here on have a specific theme that I really want to talk about. So let's jump right into the video. Now, we're going to focus on the problems, but that's not to say that they haven't had a bunch of great ideas, because they have, right? The MVP buyback program has been a great idea and a universal hit. Hobby Rip Night has been a big hit among LCSs, and I've heard that some LCSs are having huge sales the night and day of the Hobby Rip Nights. And then the debut patch was a really cool and innovative idea that they basically created out of nothing, right? This didn't exist before and now it exists. And it sounds like, this was for baseball, but they're going to expand it to basketball and football. So that's really, really cool. They've also done some really cool marketing. This Tom Brady Bowman commercial where he, in an alternative universe, played for the Expos was really outside the box and fun in terms of marketing. So that's another win. And then for Fanatics Fest, they had the really nice venue at the Javits Center in New York City. So all sorts of good stuff. And I should mention at Fanatics Fest, they had a bunch of celebrities and athletes, former athletes, really making it a unique experience that you really don't see at previous or any other card shows that have existed, right? So those are some really great ideas that they've had at Fanatics. But we're also here to talk about some of the misses. And the first miss was backdoor cards that were basically stolen from Topps. That's a big problem. Let's just call it what it is. That's not good. Another one is they were going to release these Topps Series 1 first card designations, but they forgot to print the 101 stamp or the first card stamp on the actual card, which is kind of the entire point of the card. So that's another obvious miss that is, when you think about it, it makes you wonder, how did you miss that? That's so obvious. There wasn't any quality control or QA or anything. How does that even happen, right? That's really basic stuff. And then if we want to talk about Fanatics Fest, this is from Neo Cards and Comics, but the cards you're seeing on your screen, the packs, are part of the very lame VIP experience that people paid up for, and all they got were these very mediocre, I think, Topps Heritage packs. Definitely not worth the extra $100 or whatever it was that people spent to get the VIP package. And so that's an issue. The other issue with Fanatics and Fanatics events has been communication. They scheduled a Pittsburgh show. They mentioned a Pittsburgh show in late September, but didn't actually go about telling people they canceled it until 2 weeks before. You could see here, this was announced on September the 9th. The show was supposed to be in late September. People made plans, booked hotels, booked flights, booked whatever, rental cars, booked time off. You're going to let them know 2-3 weeks in advance that, hey, by the way, that thing we said we were going to do, actually, we're not doing it. That's not a good look. It's really poor organization and logistics. And it just seems like tightening up your communication would solve this problem. And also tied to communication, it sounded like the VIP experience was also quite poor in terms of finding out what time the VIP pass would enable you to go to or enter the venue before everybody else, right? So those are the issues. Now, if we compare the successes, all the things on the left I've talked about, the good is what I'm calling it, and then the failures or the issues, the problems, what I'm calling the bad on the right, do you notice any common themes among the things on the left and also among the group of things on the right side of what you're seeing on your screen? Because I certainly do. Now, like I said before, there are other good things that Topps and Fanatics have done, and there are definitely other bad things that have happened with Topps and Fanatics. But if we look at these things in isolation, there is one obvious theme to the things on the left, the things that they've done well. It's that the successes seem to be corporate head office strategic decisions. The MVP buyback, that's a marketing idea. The MLB debut patch, I think Michael Rubin himself phoned up the baseball commissioner. Top Strip Night, that's a marketing idea. You know, the Tom Brady commercials and that marketing stuff, that's obviously a marketing idea. Fanatics Fest, choosing a nice venue, that is also a head office corporate idea, or, you know, a choice that they've made. Bringing athletes and celebrities, that's just Michael Rubin and calling up his Rolodex and making, or, you know, asking a bunch of his friends and other people that are signed on with Fanatics to show up. The one thing that does not seem to fit this trend is the fun activities that were really cool at Fanatics Fest. That I would not say is a corporate or strategic decision. That's more of an execution thing, right? But by and large, a bunch of the good things that Fanatics has brought to the hobby have been at the high, kind of high level corporate strategic level. If we look at the bad things, backdoored cards, missing that one-of-one first card designation, the VIP experience, overall communication with Fanatics Fest and Fanatics events, it's the exact opposite. These are problems that are tied to execution. They're tied to logistics. They're tied to operations and process, right? If we think about backdoored cards, well, that means there's no chain of custody, or there's no way to track these cards properly so that they can't get backdoored, whether it's from the person or persons bringing the cards to get them signed by athletes, or in the factory, or what have you, right? There's no, like, that is a logistics and execution problem. The missing the first card designation, that's a factory problem, right? That's operations, that's process. If we talk about the VIP experience not being very good and poorly planned out, that is another operations and execution problem. And the overall communication of Fanatics events, you know, for the Pittsburgh show, for even for the VIP experience for the Fanatics Fest, again, that's just logistics, that's operations, that's execution. And so my overall take on this is that the good things that Fanatics is doing is coming at the high level corporate strategy level. It seems like they have some pretty good ideas in terms of marketing, in terms of the direction that they want to take strategically. But the problem lies in execution, like making the people that are on the ground, for lack of a better phrase, the people that are not in the head office in New York, wherever their head office is, Dallas, I don't know where it is, but the people that are actually executing the strategy, it seems like they need more help, they need more people, or they need better people. I don't know what the solution is, but it seems like that is what they need to tighten up on. The strategy sides, it seems like they've got a pretty good handle on things. It seems like they have some pretty good ideas, or at least innovative ideas that lead to innovation in the hobby. But it's the minions, it seems, for lack of a better phrase, the people that work in operations, the people that are executing the ideas and need to actually make things happen in a way that is logical and gives all of their customers and people in the hobby a good customer experience. That seems to be where Fanatics can improve. So that is the video for today. Is there's some good stuff, it seems to be coming from a corporate level, and then the bad stuff, well, it seems like a lot of it has to do with operations and logistics and execution. So would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this one, whether or not you agree with this overall premise. But that's my take on it. Obviously, like I said before, there are other things that they're doing well, there are other things that they're doing poorly, but if I look at these two buckets, it seems pretty clear what the problems are and where they originate from. So we'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is only part 2 of my 3-part series on Fanatics. So next time around, we're going to talk about the monopoly that Fanatics is building for themselves in the hobby, and why that is actually good news for the hobby, with one very notable exception. But by and large, this is actually a good thing, which we as a society have been trained to think that monopolies are a bad thing, but I'm here to tell you, in this particular case, it's a good thing. But again, with one very notable exception, which I will explain. So that's coming up next time. Thank you as always for listening and watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.